from?
I think this doesn't matter.
Who do you admire the most?
I don't admire anyone. No, I don't want to be anyone. No heroes, no cartoon characters, no almost.
Do you have anything to say to someone trying to start out in this bodybuilding, watching you, a fan?
No.
One of the biggest, baddest bodybuilders you'll ever lay eyes on. Nassar Sonbaty.
Please, the lady, that I'm happy that she didn't ask any weird stuff. Like it was asked for Ronnie Coleman with spiders and monkeys, and I really appreciate that. Today, no spiders and no monkeys. I show only my arm, okay?
All right, this is who Nassar really is. It's classic Nassar. You can tell he's probably annoyed because he's on some strict diet.
So I'm hungry, and I train hungry.
He ain't giving much respect to the lady interviewing him. He just wants to bounce out of there.
She never really respected women too much anyways. And in typical, nasty, arrogant Nassar fashion, okay, we get a true sense of who he was. And this is total classic Nassar.
Do you need to show the judges that will beat everyone else?
You can't answer this. Okay, I can start talking?
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
No,
Can you tell me what it's about?
No, it sounds good, believe me.
Okay, but I will stop you if it's not appropriate.
Okay.
One of the biggest mass monsters to ever grace the world. Dudes like the ultimate beast in the game.
I mean, Nassar is fantastic.
He is one of the few bodybuilders who believed that Ronnie Coleman could be beaten.
Ronnie Coleman, who has the Mr. Olympia title, is about 10 to 20% ahead of us. So he has definitely the edge, but it doesn't mean that he's unbeatable or not defeatable. So, and I'm not coming into the show just to see how somebody wins. I like to be definitely up there.
Nassar
285-pound Nassar Sonbaty.
The sport is almost kind of brutal because you have to be consequent, you have to have a lot of discipline, you have to be dedicated, and you have to work until the last minute, until you are already on stage. Willing to sacrifice a lot of things. If you are a competitive bodybuilder and you have a kind of weird lifestyle, you can't make it. If it's rainy, if it's cold, if your girlfriend broke up with you or if your boyfriend broke up with you, you have to go to the gym. Otherwise, there are no results coming. 12 months on a diet, and then people always ask you, how are you feeling, whatever. I feel always the same. My training is always the same. My training wasn't different to the year 92, or my diet wasn't different to the year 91. It's always the same. I think it's my 56th show, so I've been competing in over 45 pro shows. And people always ask me in the diet how I'm feeling. I feel normal. I'm not a psycho case or a nut case to investigate all the time how I'm feeling every 15 or 20 minutes. And sometimes I wish people don't know that I'm getting ready for a contest. Otherwise, they wouldn't ask me all these questions which are really not relevant.
Nassar weighed 325 pounds. The scales couldn't even handle it.
But he was massive, and I look at him now, and I look at today's lineup, and I still look back and think, and I'm not going to sit there and criticize today's era, but like, I can't believe how big he was back then. I mean,
he was an absolute beast, huge and totally ripped.
You know which question I don't like either? Is a lot of people who are not too familiar with bodybuilding. Most people aren't. They ask me, so you're a bodybuilder? I said yes. And then they ask me, are you working besides that? Do you have a job? But these people don't understand. To be on the level where I am right now, and the other top 15 in the world, you have to do it full professionally, and I'm a professional since 1990. And full professionally, I do it since 94. I'm 6 of 12 months on a diet. You'll ask me if I'm doing something besides that. What I don't realize is you have to be 24 hours a bodybuilder. You don't have a off season. You speak about off season, but in off season you have still to train. It's not like in football, on baseball, where you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months off. It's quite differently. If you don't train a muscle for 96 hours or for 5 days, the muscle is shrinking, so you're forced to train all the time.
In the 96 German Grand Prix, Nassar totally overshadowed Yates. And in the same event, he made Ronnie Coleman look small too.
When people ask me if bodybuilding is a hard sport, I would say yes, because it's one of the few sports where you go hungry to a working place, and I train hungry, I leave the gym hungry, I go to bed hungry, and I do this, like I said before, 6 months of 12 months, and you don't have too many professions where you go hungry to a working place.
It was 3 weeks before the Olympia. It was like August, I remember the date, August 19th, 1995. And I watched Nassar guest pose, and I couldn't believe how big he was, number one, and number two, how big he was that far out from the show. And like, it seemed like he was holding a lot of water. I remember the next day I went to Gold's to do a photo shoot in Venice. And I remember Nassar was there on the bike, and he had gone out to Cheesecake Factory with us the night prior after my victory, and I remember people talking about he ate like 3 pieces of cheesecake, and it was 3 weeks from the show. And I remember he did like 2 or 3 hours in one session on the bike at Gold's Gym Venice that next day. And I remember someone telling me, yeah, he's on the bike for like 3 hours, which amazed me because, as you know, we're not supposed to be on more than an hour at a time. And so it kind of shocked me that, you know, number one, he'd go eat cheesecake 3 weeks out from the show. Number two, 3 hours of cardio. And then, of course, he goes to the Olympia and he gets third.
In third place, competitor number 1, Nassar Sonbaty.
only target or goal. The goal is to place high enough and to prove to myself that I'm one of the best.
In second place, they will present those awards to Nassar Sonbaty.